Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to speak on this very important issue. It was about 2 months or so ago that a young woman contacted my office requesting that I meet with her. You know, I think all of us get those type of phone calls. My staff inquired the purpose. She said it's something personal she would like to discuss. They set up a meeting. I went to a local coffee house to meet this person, and we sat down. And at that moment, this young woman had the courage to tell me her story which involved being in an abusive relationship for approximately 3 years, where she made numerous attempts to leave that abusive relationship. And finally, to her credit, she was successful in doing so. But in that ordeal, she shared with me some of the challenges she faced and some of the vacuum or deficiencies in her system by which she can move forward, escape from that domestic violence situation, and be able to find a safe place to live. And one of the challenges she highlighted is that as a financially independent woman, she rented an apartment. She was the tenant, i.e. she was on the tenancy agreement. And if she had left her place, and she had to, because the abuser knew where she lived, and place was not safe for her, she was still liable to pay the rent for an extended period of time. And there was no recourse available under the Residential Tenancies Act to allow for her to cut her ties from that particular place and move away somewhere so she could be safe. And that story really struck to me, and I want to commend, I think she is watching these proceedings, I want to commend her for her bravery, for coming forward and raising this issue. And I think it was one of those moments for all of us as elected representatives where you get to hear somebody's personal story, look into the matter and say, you know what, she's right, I'm going to do something about it. So it's my true honor to be here today to speak on this bill, which has been inspired to me by this person who lives in my riding of Ottawa Centre. I want to thank her for bringing that issue. I also want to thank my staff, Mr. Speaker, who been tremendous in helping me getting the research done and getting this drafted and be present here today. Jackie Choquette, Jeff Turner, and my OLIP intern Paul Diani, who was very instrumental, and of course Legislative Counsel Tara Partington and Jennifer Gold, who were very helpful in drafting this bill. We know, Mr. Speaker, that domestic violence is a serious criminal offense. No ifs and buts about it. We do not engage in our society in domestic violence. It is a criminal act, and it should be prosecuted as vigorously as possible. We have laws in place to prevent domestic violence. We all endeavor to put public policy in place to ensure that we prevent any kind of domestic violence. We need to make sure that we move away from that heinous criminal act that takes place against, most of the time, unfortunately, women in our society. The data, the statistics are quite terrifying at times. I'm looking at StatsCan data, which says that in 2007, nearly 40,200 incidents of spousal violence were reported to police. This is across Canada. This represents about 12% of all police-reported violent crime in Canada. That is quite high, Mr. Speaker. And this is just spousal violence, which includes married relationships, common law relationship. This does not include relationships which are outside those definitions. That could be destination somebody dating somebody else, or just be in a conjugal relationship. Police also reported that spousal violence has steadily declined over the past 10 years, decreasing 15% between 1998 and 2007, which is encouraging. However, the level of domestic violence relating to non-spousal relationships have been going up, which is extremely disturbing to know. Also, the majority of victims of spousal violence continue to be females. Mr. Speaker, I think it's not going to come as a surprise to any one of us. And according to this data, accounting for 83% of victims happen to be women, which is very disturbing. Another number I wanted to show: Canadian women aged 18 to 24 reported at least one incident of violence by an intimate partner in a one-year period, compared with the national average of 3% of all married or cohabiting women. Again, statistics which I think should give us pause when we're looking at this matter. Now,